Hello, and welcome back to Take a Sip podcast. My name's Tito.
My name is Leche.
And to start off, I'm drinking a new beer, the artisanal Brewworks Warheads Extreme Sour Watermelon flavor. Leche, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the same thing, but just a different flavor. I'm drinking green apple today.
Ooh. And today, we have two special guests, Leche's siblings.
Hi.
Hello.
Introduce yourselves.
My name's Nahomi.
And I'm Esvin.
And what are you guys drinking? Nahomi?
I'm drinking the same as you guys, just I have black cherry.
Ooh, Esvin?
And I'm drinking an original Down East.
Down East.
Nice.
Alrighty. And for this episode, we're talking about conspiracy theories.
Woo-hoo.
This is literally going to be a long one, for sure.
Hopefully it's long. But so Nahomi was actually very excited for this. So we'll start her off. What is your conspiracy theory you want to talk about, Nahomi?
Do you guys think the Earth is flat or round?
I think it's a triangle.
Imagine how did that work out, though?
Sharp corners.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of people thinking the Earth is flat is, preposterous for real. I mean, there's images of the world, like people going to space themselves, and taking actual photographs of pretty much the world, pretty much Earth and how round it is.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But even with that much evidence, there's still flat earthers out there saying the images were edited, so they're not showing you what it really looks like from outer space.
Yeah, a lot of people think that just like the GPS devices are like rigged. And it's like, that's it. The streets are straight, so the Earth has to be flat. Like if you keep going, you're going to keep going straight and it's flat. And yeah.
Let's get one thing straight. Massachusetts roads are not straight.
They're the worst.
Not a good example.
Not even the sidewalks are straight. You could trip over yourself with one little brick.
No, for sure though. But yeah, I feel like to fix that, like conspiracy, I would just, throw one of those flat earthers up in space and let them look at that themselves, to be honest. Like, hey, you think it's flat? Prove it,
I agree with that, Leche, but I think something easier than taking someone to space is just easily taking someone to Mount Everest. On top of those mountains, you're able to see like the Earth curve.
Yes, I saw. Actually, saw a video about that. Someone that like climbed like a really high mountain.
Mount Everest.
Or I don't even know if it was just like a peak of something, and it was like, proof that it's
the curvature of the Earth.
The curvature.
I don't know, but
Esvin, the only problem with taking Mount Everest, you need to train to climb Mount Everest. It's not like you could just do it tomorrow if you were there.
I mean, it's more realistic than going into space, though, I think.
It's the same thing if you take a plane. And you can't tell me flat earthers don't travel.
I don't think you can really see it as much as on a plane, though. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously you're not going to reach like cloud altitude, but you can still pretty much see the curvature of the world when you're up there.
True.
Yeah.
Like when you're ascending, you're going to see it.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things people debunk those flat earthers and whatnot. Like it's not true, the Earth, I like the memes they create, if the Earth is really round, why aren't shoes, round and whatnot? It's stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
just love
why don't we fall to the side or
well, at that point that's gravity, and it's like, well, then what's gravity?
I will explain gravity then too. How does that work?
All right. Still going on flat Earth, or do we have another one?
I just think, I think we're fine with it. I think it's like something that's way too mainstream to talk about. It's like,
I feel like
I just think there's like too much evidence to like.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I've ridden the King the Caw in New Jersey and the tallest roller coaster. And when I was up there for the split second, I noticed that the Earth was curving. So
when your eyes are so open for a sec.
That's my proof.
Before you started screaming at the top of your lungs.
Yep. I'm very good, so I live for that.
You guys in roller coasters, Jesus Christ. Esvin, do you have one?
I'm not sure if you guys want to talk about. I don't know if you want know what happened with. Well, obviously everybody knows what happened with Jeffrey Epstein, and just
for our
about him
listeners
in
who
general.
don't. For our listeners who don't
know, like just run us through real quick.
I'm not. Can someone else give a better explanation? I'm not very prepared for that.
He was a convicted sex offender.
Yeah, and then he supposedly committed suicide in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I've heard of the name and all that stuff. I just never looked into what it was. Because I know,
he supposedly has a whole island where they did pedophile island and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories that other celebrities are with it, like Chrissy Teigen,
Ellen DeGrasse.
Yeah, people that you wouldn't.
Oprah Winfrey.
That whole pizza. What is it called?
Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Pizzagate.
So basically, it's certain even companies in Walmart they sell clothes that have pizza for kids, and it means
it's like a marking for them.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it even goes to toys, the LOL dolls and everything.
Oh God!
It's crazy because you wouldn't think of anything, but if you look into it, it's deeper and deeper and deeper. It just pulls you in, and there's just so much more.
It's different branding of the kids, branding of people.
Yeah.
So much people, companies, celebrities that surround this conspiracy.
Yeah.
That they're
a lot of people tie a lot of missing children here in the United States. They tie it to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Oh wow.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Nobody knows if it's true 100%, but
yeah. No,
it would explain a lot of the missing children that happened to recently go missing in the last 10 years or so, or possibly a little bit longer, because they were on the older side too.
The kids or the people?
The people doing it, Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Now there should be around their late 60s, they're in their 60s at least.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
kind of around Trump's age. You get me? Because Trump and that, not for nothing, Trump was also mentioned in between all that talk as well.
Yeah, but I mean, before the actual Epstein's stuff, he was convicted of a lot of other things, and then the child stuff, unfortunately, that came up as well.
Very unfortunate.
Crazy to even think about there's an actual island just filled with celebrities probably sharing these gross things, gross talk about young children and pre-adolescent people and whatnot. It's kind of disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah.
My thing is, you have all this money, you have all this. You should be happy with everything. Why have the need to do that? Underage girls or
it's you can have possibly anything in the world,
but why that?
Exactly.
I mean, that even goes into the whole the whole Hollywood thing. I mean, even these still the young new actors, sometimes they have to do some crazy shit to be able to have this role or stay within the film or whatever they're doing. It is sick. I mean, look at Kesha. Kesha was silent for how long before she finally came up that her whatever this guy was to her, she was getting abused and being sexually harassed by him, and it still had to go to court.
The director, Weinstein?
Harvey
Weinstein.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein, yeah. That's another one. It kind of goes that whole Illuminati thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was about to get into that, Naomi.
Illuminati.
It's certain things you see, they're the eye of the third eye or whatever. And then you start noticing Katy Perry, when she's being accepted or I don't know what it's what is it called? Like
Like a
basically just like
ritual.
like a ritual, like sacrificing herself, like into that to be into Illuminati, like so that she gets accepted and gets more famous and all that.
That's a nice transition.
I mean,
Yes.
that's what they say. Like the whole Beyonce thing, why she's so big now, is because she was the first one to join her and Kanye, and then
Yeah.
that's why they're the
They sold
top of the
They
top.
sold their soul pretty much to get the
For the
talent,
fame,
the fame,
Mm-hmm.
to get the power that they have now, pretty much.
Yeah, they did it with Rihanna. That Good Girl Gone Bad. Like it just says it there.
Yeah, I mean, but
It's all
even before
subliminal messages in the song.
I don't
It's
know.
true because like some music videos just don't make sense. Like, what does that have to do with your song?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like Dark Horse,
Yeah, I was gonna say
like
that's a
it's
good
all
example.
Egyptian. Like the eye is right there.
yeah.
It's like
Uh,
being like basically sacrificed. Like, what does that have to do with your song?
Yeah.
It has
No,
nothing
that's-
to do with it. It's just scary.
Yeah.
If it's true, like what people have to do.
Yeah, like there's
How talent really isn't anything, really.
like an undercover cult that's taken over the world slowly.
Yeah.
You know?
And right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, like it's kind of nuts to even think about, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. To stay sort of with the famous topic, famous people, Walt Disney is frozen under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yo, he's waiting.
That's weird. Why would it be there?
I
Of
don't
all places, like they don't have. Why can't they have him like in a buried island or something? Like
Well,
it's all
that's the
private
thing
island.
with the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So you're mostly on a boat, so it's all water. So that water is gonna be able to like keep the cool temperature needed to keep him frozen.
True. And it's all like skeletons and ghosts and stuff.
Exactly, all mannequins and
So
stuff.
even if he does come on, it's like, oh look, it's a fake Walt
Yeah.
Disney.
And
It's just
so
a fake Walt Disney. I can see it.
again,
It's kind of like that. Oh, it's like hide it in plain sight.
Yes, exactly. So there was also like a whole bunch of things that before, if you like Googled, I think it was like Disney Frozen, a whole bunch of conspiracy things about Walt Disney would show up, that he's still frozen, that it's his head frozen, that he's being cryogenically kept somewhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then after, because there were so many hits for that, weirdly enough, Disney then put out the movie Frozen.
Ooh.
And now when you search up Disney Frozen, it's all about the movie. It's all Elsa, Anna, Olaf. You have to go to like page 20. No one goes to page 20 on Google to like to do any sort of research on like what's like with whatever. And there's also like why call it Frozen? I mean, you guys have Cinderella, Snow White,
Right, could
Beauty
have
and
been
the
like
Beast.
Elsa
Elsa and Anna,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, so are they covering something up?
Maybe it's a sign and it's starting to slip.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of little like. That's another thing with like all the cameos in each movie that relate to like. There's like a story to every movie
Yeah.
that goes and links up to the next one, and it just continues on. Like
Mhm.
Tarzan's parents are actually the like Anna and Elsa's parents. Like after their ship like supposedly
Right.
disappeared, they like wound up in that island and have Tarzan and Tarzan.
Technically, Tarzan is like their brother.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you think it's like a bigger underlining
Yeah.
story? Like they're all
Yeah.
connected, all this,
Everything with Disney's
and it's
connected.
they're trying to tell you one bigger story that we're
Yeah.
not seeing.
And
pretty much.
supposedly the ship that's like in the Little Mermaid is the ship from
the one that's
Elsa and Anna's parents at the beginning,
yeah.
and it's the ship that crashes in Tarzan.
And it's like it's crazy because Frozen's so new.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how did you come up with all of that years ago and now like you have Frozen and like apparently Frozen's the one that started it all because they say like Arendelle, whatever, is like
Mhm.
the oldest place. It's before all of that, like before the Little Mermaid, before
Yeah.
Tarzan, and all that. So it's like
It's
Yeah.
one chronological story, but all the movies are just scattered everywhere.
yeah,
Like I
And
think
how-
even
ties it up.
I think even a Bug's Life was part of the whole timeline as well. Like, how do you get Bug's Life in there? But they there's a whole video like where they just connect it all. It's so cool.
Yeah, Bug's Life is connected to Toy Story, then Toy Story is connected to some other thing, and then
Andy's apparently part of it.
If you think about it, imagine like one day Disney were to release like the biggest crossover in like cinematic ever. Like it would be a big crossover with like all their like Disney princesses and all.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Disney might be planning something huge, dude.
Disney's monopolizing the business. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can see that.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon. That's
definitely not. Especially after Disney Plus. Oof.
Well, they are, Naomi. What are you talking about? They're going up still.
That's true.
It's
you got you there.
Disney Plus, like even mentioning that, it's still like what, the first few months still? It's the first year, technically.
Yeah.
It's been
coming up on a year. It's crazy. Leche, what about you? You got one?
Yeah, we could talk about the Bermuda Triangle. I've always wanted to talk about that one on like what actually happens there. You know, how ships, planes, and people go mysteriously missing in the, you know, the 3-point triangle from like the coast of Florida to I think Bahamas, and like I forgot where the other 3rd point hits or something. I don't know.
Like in Puerto Rico somewhere?
Something like that, I think. But it's definitely like near the Gulf, like
off the coast of Haiti, I believe.
Haiti, there you go. So it's one of those countries, but you know,
I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that.
There's like over what, like I don't know if this recently
had it. Florida, Puerto Rico, and then just a weird random little island off like in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, like your guys' thoughts on that. Like, what do you think it really is? It just like storms? Do you think there's something bigger happening?
No, I think there's definitely something bigger beyond.
There's definitely has to be something bigger. Yeah.
The fact that they sometimes don't find like ships or airplanes at all, not even like pieces of it. They just like completely disappear. Like, how can you just have a whole airplane, even a small one, disappear?
Yeah.
And with no trace, no nothing, and you have proof that it was up there, and you have like connection, and then just out of nowhere, it's gone.
Yeah,
I believe it's like a time machine or kind of thing. Like it's something you go through, and you probably like come back.
Like a black hole, a little black hole,
kind of,
almost.
Yeah,
or
like
you go back in
wormhole or
time,
something.
Wormhole, that's the word. Yeah.
Like mumbo jumbo type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like there's like some government facility testing out there, and that's what's causing all the weirdness of it. And once a ship or a plane does pass by and they see it, I mean, no witnesses.
Yeah,
that could be too. That's what I was thinking too. There might be something right in the dead center, and those planes and like submarines and like boats, you know, accidentally saw something they shouldn't, and they like took it and literally try to hide all the evidence as much as possible.
Yeah,
true. Because some of them make it out.
Oh yeah, like years later though.
That's what I mean. That's why I think it's like, how come years later you find it like in, like if nothing happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I saw like
they found that one.
And it was like
in perfect condition still.
Just no people on it, obviously, but
wasn't that part of like a show that just came out a few years ago? Like last year.
I think Tito
and they got struck by like lightning, and they were like a few years in the future, 5-10 years.
And they didn't think nothing. They just thought they were like in a bad storm, and when they landed, for 5 years.
Yeah, everyone thought they were dead because they were missing for that long. Yo, that would be
and it's
even nuts to think about too. If that actually is true, you know.
I would say my take on this. Well, I think it's hard to talk about the Bermuda Triangle because there's so many possibilities. But I really don't have like my own personal like thought about it. But the only thing I could closely relate it to is that I just feel like in certain spots on the earth, they're just where I think like the laws of physics and nature and everything are just broken. Yeah. Just like I know there's a place in Guatemala where like if you were like down on top, like on the bottom of a hill and you were to drop a water bottle and it goes uphill on its own.
And down.
Oh.
See, there's plenty of places like that. There's also a place in the United States like that, and I feel like just the Bermuda Triangle happens to be a place like that.
Yeah,
It
and
could
it's
be
just more famous because it's probably like bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's probably more like famous than anything else.
Yeah, I mean the area itself looks like 3 times the size of Florida.
Yeah.
So do you guys probably think that that's why Florida is so crazy? It's because it's right next to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, Florida does get a lot of
like heat for that they're freaking insane here. The Floridan people are just.
I honestly think that has to do more with like all the drugs they have to do and like that. No. Like on some serious, like on a serious note, like they're one of the biggest like drug trading states in the U.S. besides like obviously anything connected to Mexico.
Right.
But they're like right on the border of Cuba and like it's
Mexico,
one of the closest things by
Yeah,
it's easily accessible by boat.
Right, drugs and crazy people aside, though, this is like apart all that, like their weather is just so crazy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't know how people live through that
stuff.
I don't think I would ever make it in Florida.
Yeah, I would never.
I promise you, I won't be that one New Englander who's gonna retire and move to Florida.
Yeah,
I think that's all of us here.
I'm gonna stay in New England.
Yeah.
If anything, I'll move up to Canada. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good option. I would consider moving to Canada.
And okay, so I also have another conspiracy theory that I'm gonna connect to the Bermuda Triangle. So Area 51.
Yes.
So okay, so Naomi, we'll go with you after, but personally, I think Area 51 is just a ruse. I don't think there's anything really out there. And I actually believe that whatever government testing is happening that should have been in Area 51 is hidden within the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, good conspiracy on that. Really, seriously.
I mean, like
they moved it, and that's why all that strange stuff was happening for the number of years.
Exactly, and I mean, if you're talking about like aliens and all these crazy things, the Kraken, the Loch Ness monster. I mean, what a better place to hide it than in a giant underwater location.
True, and that probably goes with if they see too much, like let's just get rid of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
like hiding that. That's pretty much.
I like that. I like that theory too.
I mean, I don't think
Area 51 there's anything there
in the desert. I just think
it's gotten so much like fame and attention that they just want to continue, like to make it seem like there is, but there's
it's a tourist attraction at this point.
Like
it's literally clout, yeah.
And like you said, I mean, I didn't think of that like it being Bermuda Triangle, but I think there's another place that's way more like in your face. Consider it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I signed up for that whole Facebook thing of rating Area 51 last year.
I wanted to bring that up. That happened to be, I think, a year ago, like 4 days ago.
Yeah, I think a little over a year ago,
something like that. Yeah, a little over a year ago.
And it ended up being one of the worst Facebook events to happen. I mean, I
wouldn't have gone though if everybody was actually down. They can't kill us all.
Well, I mean, imagine how many planes you would have needed to head into Nevada to be able to do that.
Yeah, just
possible.
And then to drive out to the desert.
A lot of people probably live out there, so it's a drive away.
Well, I mean, isn't it close to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, I think like around like, I know it's like tens of miles away, but I'm not sure how much. It's less than 100 miles away from Vegas, so I know
yeah, and then to like drive out there, and then you're in the middle of the desert with a whole bunch of random people, and you're all gonna Naruto run into this area. First of all, there's guns pointing at you. Let's get that straight.
You really think the U.S. is gonna kill its own citizens like it's already done?
Do you act like the Boston Massacre?
I like literally answered your own question.
All right,
you already do that. Seriously.
Anyone else?
Any more conspiracies that you could think of? We could talk about like what species of animals you think that are like rumored to be alive, you know, like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and stuff like that. Like we could get into that a little bit.
Like mythological creatures, you can say, that might still be lurking around.
Yeah. I want to talk about like more the scary idea of we only discovered like
I think like 5%
of the ocean. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like who knows what is
wait, I have a conspiracy theory. What if that's what the government wants you to think, and that's when they're hiding everything?
That could be, yeah, literally, right?
That's true too.
Why.
But I mean,
the ocean. I
am too.
Swimming, but just knowing that there's way more out there and we don't even know.
Exactly.
It's scary.
The fear of
yes,
crazy.
I don't know if you guys are gonna know this game, Leche. You obviously will. I mean, but there's that whole game of Subnautica.
Yeah.
Where you just land on this island that's pretty much just completely ocean, and you have to make your way further and further down to like explore what the hell is happening. And the more you go down, the darker it gets, the harder it is to live down there. And it's like all these more and more crazy creatures just start showing up. And it's, I mean, that has to be based off what we're living on in this world ourselves. I mean,
like the Megalodon.
Yeah, you know there that thing did not die during the meteor.
I mean, there's proof that there was like a shark that big.
Oh yeah, there's this, I don't know how to say it. Never mind. It's like there's proof that they existed. There's just no proof that they don't still exist.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. That's the
best way to put it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's definitely has to be some crazy. I mean, yeah. Don't we get like a new animal like every other year that just pops up? Like what was that fish that has that has that like ugly man looking face?
Mermaids.
Mermaids is another thing. I mean, there has to be something down there.
Yeah.
The mermaids are the ones shooting down the planes in the Bermuda Triangle.
On some Aquaman type things.
That's their home. That's where Atlantis is.
That's where Aquaman is at.
No, for mouth breathers. You know, maybe that's why we don't know about it.
Mouth breathers. Wasn't that from a movie?
Stranger Things.
There we go. I was like, mouth breathers.
Such a great show that
it
I
really
think
is.
Watch, but he doesn't.
Leche still has not watched it, and I think he's the same for not watching it.
My mom is watching Stranger Things right now.
Your mom? That's
she's
good.
so into it.
Watch Stranger Things.
Like, yep, that's 11.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I just finished it too during the quarantine.
Maybe I'll watch it one day. Maybe.
One day. Nah, you gotta do it by the end of the year.
But back to stuff. I still think there might be like huge dinosaurs living, like, you know, in that deepest trench of the ocean. What is it called? The Marianas Trench, I think it's called, something like that.
Yeah.
I think there's still like crazy animals down there and whatnot, probably hiding around.
Oh, 100%. And you know they're crossbreeding them to make up some crazy things too.
But isn't that like a lake monster?
Well, I mean, that's what supposedly the Loch Ness Monster is.
It's like a dinosaur looking thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like dinosaur and fish or something.
It's called with
fins,
basically, yeah, just underwater.
Yeah, and then I mean that would also be the whole the Kraken. Is it? Yeah, the giant squid monster thing.
Yeah.
I mean that has to be some sort of like.
I mean, there's already giant squids that exist, but not freaking.
I don't think.
Want to hear something funny I've heard about the Kraken?
What?
So it's like kind of like an old folk tale, you can say, but like seamen or like people who are out in ships would actually see whales mating, which their genitals actually look like tentacles and all, because obviously they're extremely big and all, and they would mistake it for like, obviously you don't know what it is, so you're gonna mistake it for a monster and all.
Oh, like
So,
that shadow picture.
yeah, so they would mistake that, and they'll be like, oh, it's a monster, and they would give it a name. Like obviously they gave it like the name Kraken or something. But that's kind of like, I've heard it's like its origin. I'm not sure, but I've read that.
It started from like again, like the unknown. They didn't know what it was, so they're like, "Oh my god, what is that type of thing?"
Yeah.
And then, let alone that it's all black and white. Like, there's no real color to it. It's harder even to differentiate to what it actually is, even in real life. Yeah, I definitely believe though there is like sea creatures and even land creatures, like you said, Bigfoot, the Yeti. Like, they have to be two different types of the same species. Hence why one's in the cold and like all white, and then the other one's in woods and all brown.
Yeah, that's why it'd be hard to find them, because they just so good.
It's kind of like a race, you can say, like how we humans have races, how dogs have breeds.
Yeah, seriously. The Yeti people, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just scary to think how much is still unknown just by the general public. Unfortunately, it could be like a whole government thing hiding it off from us, but still, like, it's just crazy to think how much is still unseen by normal eyes, quote unquote.
And that's just on Earth. Just imagine just the outer universe, like just outside the inside our system, that there's stuff we haven't even discovered yet.
Don't get me started. That's a whole nother episode there.
It's so hard to believe. Like, I don't understand how people actually believe that we're the only living things in this whole galaxy. Like, there has to be something out there.
Yeah, you really have to be like very ignorant to think that.
I feel like people are really ignorant with that. Like, there's no way, dude, that we're the only living organisms in this entire freaking like universe, even within our solar system. There's no way, dude.
100%. It's like, there was a whole thing of like the Mars rover? Like, it took a picture or a video of something moving up there. It's like, no, there's no way. I don't know.
Which brings me to, do you think the moon landing was fake?
Do we think it was like a
yeah, like it was staged?
So I think
real.
So my thought of this, like the first one, there's a possibility it could be
the one from 1960, whatever it was.
Yeah, 1960. Yeah, I forgot. I
think 1968.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I'm not sure, but honestly, I think it could be fake. But yeah, it could have been. But by now, you feel? Yeah, I mean, we probably have reached that. We have definitely have reached that technology by now to be on the moon. But there's a big also conspiracy on like the moon landing for it being like John F. Kennedy wanted it to be like kind of like a distraction in the war that we had with Russia.
Yeah, that's true.
And as well, because they wanted to also, they were also like on the space, trying to get to space too.
It was on
the mission.
Yeah.
It was called like the big space race or something.
The space race, not the arms race. Yeah, space race.
So, because you know how they keep mentioning how the video looks like it's faked, how there's like wind blowing, but there shouldn't be wind in outer space because it's just one giant vacuum.
I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I've seen like the people mention like how is there's this and whatnot. Like how are they doing this? And
exactly. So I'm saying we did reach the moon. I'm just probably the whole like recording of it was just so messed up. So to give the Americans hope, they recreated it, and that's the video that got put out that has all these. Yeah, they staged it, and
they had to add like an infamous quote.
It
would just stick around for years,
for decades.
Yeah. I actually want to go, if it's all right with you guys, move on to my favorite conspiracy theory. the Mandela Effect.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can you remind us of that? What that is,
Yes. So the Mandela Effect was named after Nelson Mandela, who people thought died in prison during the 80s, but he was actually still alive up until 2018. So the whole effect is that people or a giant group of people have this one thought or this one idea that just ends up being a little bit more different than what the rest of the population sees it as. So, like, the main one is these kids' books that we actually probably grew up reading was the Berenstain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's not Berenstain, like with an E. Apparently, it's Berenstain with an A.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still memorize it as Berenstain Bears.
I still say Berenstein.
I do too. Even
Berenstain Bears.
yeah, and then like it's just confusing. And I actually have a couple here I want to go over with you guys.
Yep.
So in Star Wars, the big line that Darth Vader says to Luke, what is it?
Luke, I am your father.
So that's what everybody thinks. It's Luke, I am your father. It's wrong. It's actually no, I am your father. He never says Luke.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. All right. Another one is in Snow White. What does the witch say to the mirror?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm like not really good at Disney movies, so I'm not sure.
Get out of here.
I suck at this.
Okay, so Nahomi said it. Mirror, mirror on the wall. But that's incorrect, apparently. She says magic mirror on the wall. Which is so dumb because a lot of these movies that parody it, even in Shrek, Lord Farquaad, they say mirror, mirror on the wall, but that's wrong.
Yeah. Even if you get it wrong, that's fine.
Yeah, like if it was supposed to be magic mirror on the wall, everybody would have quoted it as magic mirror. But people say mirror, mirror.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. First of all, the Monopoly guy, I also just found out he actually has a real name. It's Rich Uncle Pennybags.
Yeah, Pennybags, yeah.
I never knew that was his name.
Not like Monopoly.
Not the Monopoly man.
No, not the Monopoly man. But his real name is Uncle Pennybags. He does not have a monocle.
Does it?
No.
I remember him not having it, though.
I remember him having it, and I hate Monopoly.
I've always seen him just with the two little eyes. That's all.
I remember him having that monocle.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I remember that.
Didn't the Pringles guy also have a monocle? Apparently he doesn't.
The Pringles guy?
The peanut guy. The peanut guy.
Oh.
The peanut guy.
Oh.
Peanut guy does.
No, I said Pringles. The
Pringles.
The
No,
chips.
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. It's a mustache. It's like
But I thought he had a monocle
No, he never
too.
had one either. No.
No, he's never had one. He's always just had a weird mustache.
Really? Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I'm that.
It's like Pikachu's tail.
Yes.
Everybody always assumes it has like a little black thing on the tip, and it's just yellow. I remember it. Like there was something black at the end of it.
Yes. So no bullshit. I actually
like,
just
go.
No bull. I literally just found an old picture of Pikachu that I drew, and it has the little line where the whole black area should have been, and dividing the tail. So I'm like, how did I draw that as a kid? But apparently, it's never been a thing.
Even the books got it wrong, probably.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Maybe I think this has to do with the year 2012.
Yes.
I think that's felt the same since then.
2012.
It actually ended, and we just
We're in a parallel freaking dimension at this point.
Actually, right now we're in Leche's dream. Tomorrow we'll be in Tito's, and then Monday we have scheduled for Naomi's subconscious. So
you don't want to.
another one. Jesus.
You don't want to be in my dreams.
It's just cheese it.
She's it.
Yeah.
She's it.
Oh,
no, you're gonna ruin it.
She's the
oh my
right
gosh,
man.
she's so right.
You're gonna ruin it.
Here's one. Looney Tunes. Spell Looney Tunes.
Oh, I can't spell that right now.
LUNEYTUNEE.
Okay.
That's
What?
wrong. I can't spell.
So loony is LOO. Yeah, you confused the two words that I wanted. So the first word loony, LOONEY, and then tunes is the Mandela Effect. So tune in real life is TUNES, but I remember it as TOONS.
Yeah, I remember it as that too. The TOON.
Yeah, but apparently it's tunes, like in music tunes, and
yeah, like TUNE and whatnot.
yeah, it's so. Which I still like. I looked up and it looks completely wrong in my eyes.
It's a glitch in the simulation. It's just that's
that's another conspiracy theory. So we'll actually move on from this into that. Like, are we in a simulation?
That's always a scary thought to me, dude. If like you literally like go through all these years of life and then out of a sudden you wake up and it's something else completely, but you still have the memory of the last point that you had.
Yeah.
That would literally drive anyone insane. It's probable, but probably not impossible.
Yeah. But I mean, it's so weird. Like, even like in just the world view, like, so like the two crazy things, the fact that people believe that we're the only living things in the galaxy, and then really our entire galaxy is just one giant computer. We're all just zeros and ones. I don't know.
It kind of feels like that in the grand schemes of the universe, though.
I mean, sometimes there's glitches in the world. I mean, sometimes there's glitches that shouldn't have happened, but the world still sees, and I mean, that just drives the world more into chaos.
Yeah, the more people fear of not knowing stuff is what really riles people up and starts, all this fighting and arguing and like go back and forth and whatnot. Not knowing like the other side or not knowing something in particular that they probably are frustrated with.
Yeah.
Is what really riles people up.
Yeah. Is Naomi still alive?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I was like, I haven't heard her. I'm like, did she tap out? All right. Esvin, how are you doing? We'll do a halfway check.
Relaxing, chilling.
We're getting the flow of things.
Yeah.
Naomi, how you feeling?
I'm like trying to think of other things to talk about.
Yeah.
Like be ahead of the game.
I'm trying to think of some too.
I mean, we could take a moment to look stuff up and then like.
All right, yeah, sounds good then.
Yeah, I can do that.
It really does get interesting when we're talking about all that stuff. It just makes you think and like look at your phone slightly more.
It does go like so fast.
We just went through so much like super quick. I thought it was gonna last much longer. We went through a lot of topics.
We did all that in like 45 minutes, by the way.
Yeah. Oh
There's
my
one
God.
for Esvin right here. There's a New England Patriots conspiracy theory about them winning.
I didn't want to go into that, but yeah.
I was like,
what do you mean about them winning? Like what? They're cheating or something?
They're cheating. They paid refs.
They sacrifice.
They sacrifice.
Every time before
They sacrifice goats so Tom Brady could have been the goat. Yeah.
So Tom Brady's contract with Satan about staying with New England expired, so now he had to go to a new team.
Pretty much. Oh, another conspiracy theory. How the fuck did the Patriots win Cam Newton for only $1 million? That's insane.
That is insane.
Tito, his net worth, like, no, not his net worth. He was probably getting paid beforehand, like, probably, like, we're talking about, like, 16? No, probably less, like, probably, like, 14, 15 mil a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patriots signed him to a 1-year deal for $1 million. And that's a crazy steal. Like, that's literally, like, what they play, like, kickers or backup players and shit.
Yeah,
he's like a really good player.
Hello, Tito here to tell you that we actually kept the conversation going for a much longer time than we thought we would. So we're going to split the episodes into 2 parts. This is the end of part 1. Tune in next week to hear part 2 of our conversation. So thank you very much for listening. Please leave a rate and review us. Follow us on social media. Again, I am at 1alphapenguin on both Instagram and Twitter. You could follow Leche at Leche Minueza, LecheMinueza on Instagram. You could follow Esvin at ESVINAM on Instagram, and Nahomi at Nahomi MNAHOMIM on Instagram. Again, thank you very much. Drink some water, and bye-bye.